Joe, a really tough one to take today. 4-1 defeat to Sholing here. What did you make of the game?
Yeah, thoroughly deserved to lose. No complaints about the scoreline. I think probably just a case of being a bit of a reality check. We've had a really good pre-season. Training's been going well. We obviously won the first game, and I think it's. I don't actually think it's the worst thing for the group to get a reality check like that. That's not obviously what we want to be saying, and it's not necessarily what the fans would want to hear. And the fans deserved obviously a lot better than that today when they've paid their money to come and watch us. But for the group, I think it will knock a few down a peg or two, and knock us as a group down a peg or two, because we were well beaten today. And I think while we will definitely say we should have scored some more goals, there's no doubt about it. They should have had a few more as well. And yeah, no complaints about the result. But we were off it all over the pitch. It's not even one of them ones really where you can single out individuals for not playing well enough. I genuinely think the entire group weren't at it today. Obviously, we've got a lot of stuff wrong. We'll obviously have a look at team selection, things like that, and the messages that the boys were given. Pretty much everyone was available, obviously other than Salim, who wasn't able to play from the start today. So, I think we just got to have a little look at where we're at, move on in the right way, reflect on it, understand what went wrong, watch it back. But obviously we've got a game Saturday, so we'll move on quickly, but make sure that it doesn't happen again.
It seemed like we were almost second or even third to the ball at times this evening. Could you put a reason behind that? Is it a lack of desire or something else?
Yeah, I agree. We didn't win the first, didn't win the seconds, didn't win the thirds, or whatever there was. Thing is, I don't think Sholing did anything special. I think they thoroughly deserved their win. I thought they played really well, but there wasn't anything tactical in particular they were doing. I think they just looked like a team, and it pains me to say it, that wanted it more today, and that is not reflective of what we think we've instilled in the group. And I'm not going to be really negative about this group of players in the second game in, because they've actually given us a lot, and they've worked really hard. But I think they know they were well short tonight, well short. I think it was a mentality thing. I don't know why right now. It's something that we need to look at, because we're at most to blame out of anyone. We're the managers of the team, so if it was a mentality problem, then it's something that we haven't done, and we'll always take full responsibility of that. But for me, it was mentality, it was intensity, and that is strange, because I think that's something that you've probably seen in the last 3-4 months. We've had an abundance, is energy, is intensity, and I thought Sholing had that to 100% of their maximum today, and we had it nowhere near. So yeah, I think I agree with Joe when you talk about a reality check. If anyone thought that we were a good team, then they only need to watch tonight and realise that we've got a lot of work to do. But I truly believe that this group will do the work, and everything that we need to look at and work on, I think the players, us as staff and the club, will be humble enough to realise that we were well short tonight, and we got a lot of work to do, but we'll put that work in.
And finally, Joe, Bracknell on Saturday, another really tough test at their ground, isn't it?
Yeah, probably the favourites for the league, I think, in most people's eyes, or certainly right up there. They've not had an easy start either. I think that is also the division. It is a bit of a cliche, but it's one of them ones where anyone really can beat anyone in this division, as we found out tonight, where we've turned up after a good win and then we've been well and truly humbled. So I think we prepare as we would do normally, make sure we watch them, analyse this game back, reflect. They're a very good side, a lot of firepower. Probably the most expensive front line in the league. Very good front line. A lot of good midfield players in there as well that can run the game, and they've got some real experience at the back. So we know that they're going to be a really tough opponent. I think, state the obvious, we just have to show a proper reaction to this. Like I said, it's in the medium to long term. You might look back on this and actually think it's a good thing. I don't like to say that, but you might look back and say that's a good thing, because we were humbled early on, well beaten, And, you know, from there we made sure it didn't happen again and all those types of things. So we've got to make sure that that's the reaction, and that this is a singular event and not something that reoccurs. And I'm sure that's the case, because, you know, we've, even from the end of last season, we've been in really good form as a group, 6 wins in a row at home and all that stuff. So, we're a good team, got a lot of good players, and there is a good mentality to the group. We know there is. We just didn't show it tonight, and we have to show that on Saturday against Bracknell, or it'll be a very tough afternoon.
And Pat, just finally, maybe a touch on the fans tonight, who, despite the performance out there, they were brilliant once again, weren't they?
Yeah, I don't think you can ever doubt the Poole fans and their support. They've made the journey down, which it was tough getting here today. There was a lot of traffic, and they've spent their money and they've watched their team not perform at all tonight. So I think we have to be really grateful that they've showed up. And there obviously was a bit of frustration naturally, which we understand, but would urge them to keep supporting as they always do. I know they will anyway, but this group will give us a lot this season. Like Joe said, they didn't show it tonight, but we know it's there. So just want to thank them for their support throughout our time here, but especially tonight. It's easy to support when things are going well, but it's really difficult when you have nights like tonight. But they were still there, they were still loud, and we really appreciate it.